Welcome and thank you for visiting my channel. Today we will be reading a Valentine poem titled A Valentine Prayer. This Valentine poem is for a grade 2 language arts lesson. You may use this poem to introduce Valentine's Day at the beginning of the month of February or the week of February 14th. The outline of today's lesson will appear as follows. I will discuss the language arts curriculum expectations for grade 2. I will read the Valentine poem, and I will discuss the activity sheet at the end. The curriculum expectations, this focuses on the language arts. The overall expectation I pulled from the reading strand of grade 2, number 3, use knowledge of words and cueing systems to read fluently. For the specific expectations, I found reading, oral communication, and writing to best suit today's lesson. From reading, 1.1, read some different literary texts, graphic texts, and informational texts. And today, the different form of literary text will focus on poetry. Oral communication, 1.1, identify purposes for listening in a variety of situations, formal and informal, and set personal goals for listening, initially with support and direction. And writing, 3.3, confirm spellings and word meanings or word choice using a few different types of resources. Now I will introduce today's poem. So the poem, as I've already stated, is titled A Valentine Prayer. The teacher may want to prompt the following questions before reading the poem with, what special occasions do we celebrate in February? Could this be a form of friendship? And what number does Valentine's Day fall on? Now at this point, the teacher may either read the poem to the class or have the students join in with them. For the purpose of today's lesson, I am going to read you the poem. A Valentine Prayer. I said a Valentine prayer for you and asked the Lord above to fill your heart and bless your soul with the precious gift of love. I asked him for sincere love, the kind that's meant to stay, just like the generous love you give to those you touch each day. I prayed for love from family and from every cherished friend. Then I asked the Lord to give you his love that knows no end. There are a lot of sight words in the poem today, and I will review those with you. We have I, a, for, and, of, to, and no. Once you review the basic sight words with your class, you may move on to the sight words you want your students to circle in today's poem. So the sight words I would start to circle are the meaningful ones of the lesson. I've circled Valentine and heart in red because today we are going to focus on Valentine's Day. And heart because the students would most likely want heart to be circled in red. The other words I would circle are Lord, him, his, and Lord again. And I would circle these words in blue so that the students understand that the Lord, him, and his are important in the poem because we are talking to God. So the children are praying to God and asking him to watch over our family and watch over our friends. I would also want to discuss why L, H are capitalized in the poem. It is because when we are talking to God, the L is capitalized and him is capitalized. The last word I would want the students to circle would be family, because the prayer is talking about how much we want God to look after our family. And so once all the students have circled their words in the poem, they should have a very colorful poem with 2 words circled in red, 4 words circled in blue, and lastly, family circled in purple. Now there are other words in this poem that you may want to also discuss with your students. I have pulled some rhyming words out of the poem. We have above, love, stay, day, friend, end. I have chosen to highlight these words in orange, but you may choose to circle a different word. If you don't want to discuss the rhyming words, you may also want your students to circle love in red, along with Valentine and heart. So once your students have successfully circled all the words in the poem, they can move on to the heart activity. And the heart activity is just 3 rows of hearts and 4 columns of hearts. So the total, every student should have 1 paper full of 12 hearts. So the students can neatly print out all the new Valentine sight words inside the hearts. As the teacher, you may decide if the students should write 1 word across all 3, or you can mix it up with Valentine, heart, Lord, his, him, family, and you can follow suit until all the hearts have been filled with words. Another fun activity to do with this is to ask the students to cut out the hearts and hang them in the classroom. So what you would do is you would cut the hearts, but then you would attach string here and here from the bottom of the heart to the top of the heart, following all the hearts down, and you would hang them in the classroom so the students can see, oh, it's Valentine's Day, we've colored the heart if chosen, we've wrote out the word Valentine, we've wrote out the word heart, Lord, his, him, and family, and now they're all hanging in the classroom. So you've just taught your students that they can read the poem, they've orally communicated the poem with you, and they have written all of the words out from the poem. So here is the blank sheet of hearts, and this is the poem that you may take from my channel. Thank you and good luck with the lesson.